Yeah, like I'm gonna be fucking Jesus 2.0.
I am the only child of God.
Because no one else is saying I'm Christ. It's just me, right? Like, I'm the only one that's like, yo, I'm Christ, hi, came again! And I'm not hiding anything. Like, I'm literally telling you I'm Christ.
I can never come back from telling you that I'm the prophesied second coming and showing you the image of the Christ was actually me, the second coming, not Jesus, the first coming.
The images of Jesus has been the image of Jeff. That's the prophecy you've been looking for.
You may have heard that I am the Master Christ. I said that. I coined that term. I made that up. I literally just made it up. And that's what I am. The second coming is prophesied to bring heaven on earth, to pave the streets in gold, right? But if you look really carefully about what I've done and what I'm doing, it's exactly that.
For you to have my divine light, it fills up every instant of your day.
I'm banging the Christ.
So I have been patiently waiting for Hear From Us Part 2 from the Twin Flame Universe, Jeff and Shalia Divine. And I'm just going to give you, for those that aren't aware, because a lot of people aren't aware of the Twin Flame Universe. Why? Because they're really just not that popular. The reason they've gotten so much media attention is because Netflix and Prime both did a documentary about the Twin Flame Universe. And after, it's been over a year now, at least well over a year, and now they're doing a rebuttal. They did part 1 that I did a video on, and now this is part 2 that just came out just this morning on Sunday. And so really quick, the Twin Flame Universe is a pyramid scheme, okay? It's a multi-level pyramid scheme. They have a Church of Union nonprofit, and they have their profit businesses, and of course their nonprofit, which I've said all along, they're running an illegal scheme and blah. But the documentaries went really big on them being a cult. And this is them, I guess, saying this is their truth, which it's not truth, it's just their belief, what they believe in. But I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to comment as we go here. So this is how I wanted to do it. But I would recommend most definitely, if you aren't aware of them, don't bother looking at their shit. Just look at the videos I've done. I have a whole playlist on the Twin Flame Universe, okay? And just take a look if you want to catch up on exactly who these people are. They're just 2 young kids that started out in Sedona with this concept of twin flames, and they just took it into a business where Jeff and Shalia have become multimillionaires off the backs of their volunteers. And this is what they have to say because they're defending themselves from the documentaries.
That I want to touch on, which is another deep one that we really want to get to the core of, and that is the question of, is Jeff God, and what is Master Christ? And so these are topics touched on throughout the docudramas, and we all know here Jeff is not God, but let's share a little bit more about that and why that is, and yeah, go into more details there. So Ryan, did you have a piece on this?
Yeah. So, well, obviously Jeff is not God. Jeff never said that he was God. He's never taught that he was God. He believes in God, and he has a relationship with God. He loves God very much, and God is love, in the teachings of union. So that's the teachings, is that love leads your life. And yeah, there's never been a conversation other than that. And the second coming of Christ is all about, that consciousness of love, being expressed through humanity, as a whole, and us all, stepping into that. And Jeff and Shalia have led us, in that consciousness, right? They've stepped into it, and they showed us that it's real, and they're showing the world that it's real, and we're aligning with that truth, and we're living it for ourselves.
This is a realization, from my own personal life, that I came to what you just said, Ryan, a little bit prior to finding the teachings, was this awareness that, the Christ coming back, the second coming, it's a consciousness. It's not the physical being coming down to earth, which was a huge shift for me because I grew up Catholic believing that. And so this shift in my consciousness, however, brought me to, a lot of peace in my life and a lot of deeper understanding about, this is what Jesus was really talking about, right? This is what yeah, this is what his teachings were really about, was becoming the Christ within you. And, you know, other masters know this, like Yogananda has the book, The Second Coming of Christ Within You, and teaches this as well. And that's really what Jeff and Shalia teach, is that we all can become our Christ selves. And so, yeah, that feels good. And that's, you know, what I came to as well on my spiritual awakening. And the next piece here really is, what is Master Christ? And
Okay, I'll go before we do the Master Christ. But so Jeff never really said that he was God. He has stated that he's, as you can see, that he's the second coming of Jesus Christ, or he is Christ reborn, and you'll have little clips of, you see that, and all you have to do is go look at that. So he never really said God. But in when they're bringing in, it's like they're making it into their truth, when it's not truth. It's just a belief system. This is what they believe. So the second coming of Jesus can be debated as well. So it's just the fact that a lot of people think that Jesus is actually physically going to come back on earth, and then what they're saying is, no, it's not that. So Jeff is the second coming of Jesus, but he's not God. So he is the second coming of Jesus, and he is here to spread love across the world, and also fill his pocketbook, right? Because that's really what it's all about, is money. But that was the biggest thing when they left off from part one, was, is Jeff God? Well, yeah, of course he's not God. But then again, it's these people that believe in these things, right? So they can't find this on their own. They are sucked in with Jeff because of the belief. And then what is Master Christ? And this is what they say, and you'll see it with Jeff. Jeff says that he's coined that, Master Christ, and he's Master Christ. They refer back to also other masters and other gurus, that it comes from that. So keep in mind with this is self-proclaimed people that have taken this position in life, that they feel that they know more than everybody else, and they have this direct relationship with God, and that they have all the answers. But in having all these, in spreading love and peace in the world, and that is what his mission is, and that's what their teaching is. That's what it's all about.
that was kind of a buzzword throughout the docudramas. And yeah, let's touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, I really think that was, it was really taken out of context, to be honest. Like, I think this is something Jeff is personally exploring. In the particular Twin Flame Ascension School class that they riffed off of or pulled from, there was a long discussion there in regards to this topic. And Jeff and Shalia will always share with us as students what they're spiritually moving through and what they're exploring, which I personally really appreciate. And so, like, I think that their discussion in regards to the Christ consciousness being in all of us, and us coming into the space of Christ consciousness within us, is what they're discussing.
And I asked, what is Christ consciousness? And we've heard this a lot throughout our lives, Mike. Mike was actually told that he was Christ conscious. What is Christ consciousness? And what would it be to an atheist? What would it be to me that doesn't believe in God? So you have to be in this belief system to actually get sucked into this to begin with. And so that's where he gets his followers and his thing. But they love to call this a docudrama instead of a documentary. They're not going to say it was actual documentary. And how they're putting it is where everything they did in the documentaries was more on a drama level instead of factual. But they actually show footage of everything that Jeff does, and actual testimonials from people that experienced all this. So, but I don't want to go all into that, but let's just keep going.
He is in no way communicating he's Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is a completely different person, which we all love, adore, and respect.
But he is communicating that. He says that. He says, I am second coming of Jesus Christ. I am Christ. Isn't Jesus and Christ the same thing, Mike? Right? Yeah. So if he says, I am Christ, I am the Master Christ, then he is saying he's Jesus, right?
And that's not what this communication was, and I think it's been highly misrepresented and construed to put this particular narrative in place.
I'm going to warn you real quick, though. Construed is Chrissy's new word. She's going to use it throughout the whole video. Conscrewed. Construed. Everything's construed. They did it all wrong. Misconstrued.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with what you're saying, obviously, because I've come to the same conclusion for myself. And yeah, and I feel like it's, it's a buzzword because it freaks people out a bit. But really, there's not much to it other than they're showing us an example of what it's like to live a life where you feel your feelings and love yourself. And it's that simple. And, they've really taught us all that.
But it isn't that simple. Feel your feelings and love yourself, and they always go back there to that. So they're saying he's a master Christ freaks people out. Well, of course it freaks people out, right? Because for somebody to take that title, if you believe in all that, yeah, it's like, okay, let's do a documentary about this guy.
We all can become our own Christ selves. Like, that's why I'm doing this work, is to ascend, right? It's a twin flame and ascension journey for a reason, because
It's a twin flame ascension journey, and I don't want to keep stopping every 2 seconds here, but they're all going to become Christ consciousness, and it's all an ascension. Ascension to what? Christ consciousness. So it's all, they're talking within themselves, they're going to attain an ascension to Christ consciousness. Then ask, what is Christ consciousness? Love. Is that all it is? It's just love? So by taking this course, they're all going to reach Christ consciousness, which means they're going to now be at Jeff's level.
We did that by having cats.
Right. That's all you need to do.
We became Christ conscious because we love the cats.
We're going to mock it, of course. It's just going to be what it is.
we ascend, right, into Christ consciousness. And, spiritual leaders and masters have been teaching this for centuries and centuries and centuries. And so it's nothing new.
And I love that too, with it's nothing new. So she says it clear, it isn't anything new. That's why the twin flame universe is going to dissolve at some point, because it isn't anything new. These people have been doing this forever, for a real, real long time. But Jeff still likes to claim that he has coined all this and he is the master guru.
It's just the next level and the next chapter of that journey. And so, yeah, I think that everyone can calm down a bit. And another topic that was talked about in the docudrama is just people feeling uncomfortable about leaving. They felt like maybe they'd be threatened. And I think there was even, because I watched them as well, and there was like these people who kind of would say they felt like people were coming after them. There was this energy. And as we know, that's not the case. People have been coming and going since the beginning of Twin Flame Ascension School freely and as they please. And really, it's like an online community, so you can't really, there's nowhere to, you can go whenever you want by just logging off your computer, right? It's very simple, leaving a Facebook group. But that wasn't what was portrayed at all. And so, yeah, I'd love to hear what you all have to say about that and how, if you have anything to say towards the people who felt that way.
I think you can see, numerous examples that you don't see in a docudrama, that you don't ever hear about, of people, just leaving and, say, okay, that's what you decided to do. Like, this journey is not for you at this time, or maybe you don't feel like it resonates for you. It's not right for you. That's okay. We wish them well, and then we move on and continue on our journeys. And I think that's that wasn't part of the clips that you saw in the docudrama. You didn't see the clips of people leaving when they were in the live classes. And, Jeff and Shalia would say, we wish them well, we, would hope that they would be with us, but at the same time, we aren't attached to them and we let them go. And I think that's the experience that anyone who decides that this path is not for them would experience, is just, hey, we love you, we would love you to stay with us, but if you decide you want to move on, then that's a personal decision. And we don't want you to, we don't hold anything against those people that decide that that's not right for them at this time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the first 5 free TFAS classes, someone leaves the class. And they go through that right at the beginning of the exact process of what happens when someone leaves, which is, we wish you well. Wish you would have stuck around for the ride all the way to your union and stuff, but that's okay. Who cares? It's just a compassionate feeling because, yeah, we're all just here to build a life of love, and we've made friends and made a beautiful life for ourselves, like all of us sitting here. And so of course we want that for everyone, but not everyone has to choose that. It's all okay.
And it's all okay, because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. So, can you hear the self-centeredness in this? That it's building their life, their dream, but hey, it's okay if you don't want to be a part of it. But she mentions here too, it's in the free things. So in the free classes, people come and go. So they jump on board, do the free thing, and find out this isn't for them, and then they split. And that's okay, that's fine. But the minute you get in a little deeper, and that's really what the documentary shows, is people that were in it deep with Jeff, not these quick little, okay, not for me, leaving. Once money is invested, once people invest into this and find that there's, mental manipulation and coercion and all that shit and the volunteer, and they want to leave, no, then it becomes bad. Then it becomes really vindictive with Jeff and Shalia on them not being a part of what their business is, and that is to get these people to union. That is their ultimate goal, and that's it. You spend the money, and they want you to stick around because they want to plaster your face all over saying, look, these people got married, they're in twin flame harmonious union. So in the free thing. But you'll hear this repeated as how these people talk is really kind of, to me, well, first they say leaving, you can just shut the computer and leave, and in the free stuff. And they're saying it's only online, and it starts that way, but it isn't all online. Obviously all these people live in Traverse City now, and that has been always, I think, a concern a little bit with Jeff and Shalia, is that they're going to bring everybody into Traverse City and create a commune.
And it's not nothing wrong with making a different choice, right?
Yeah, I was just going to share, we choose to, live these teachings. So if somebody, leaves, I might not talk to them, and not because, I got a problem with them. I actually usually just move on with my life, and it's not that I forget they existed, they're just existing in a different way, and they're choosing different things. So I move forward, they move forward, and that's how it's always been. There's never been anything other than that. It's very peaceful every time that somebody leaves for me. So that's their choice too, right?
Yeah, I think it's natural as you change and develop in life that you move into different friends. An example would be, you're in high school and you have your high school friends and they're great. And then, you move to college. One summer you go away to college and all of a sudden you're not hanging out with those high school friends anymore. You're hanging out with a bunch of college friends. And then after college you move, high school and college aren't cults. You just move from one space to another and live your life. It's kind of quite normal to continue to grow and transform and change and be around different people as you choose to do that. If you had somebody for example, I, recently retired from the military. I was around military people all the time for 20 years. I haven't been around a military person in a really long time. Doesn't mean that I was in a cult. I was in the military. You know what I mean? It's just I am living a different life now. And that's something that's discussed at length when leaving the military, that this is a whole new life for you. These are new people you're going to be around. It's a very natural part of life to have a transition when you move from one thing to another. And I think like attracts like. So, we've been here a long time, for years. I think we came into the community in 2016. We've seen a lot of people leave and come back. And, you're free to invest in the teachings and into the community at any level that you see fit for yourself. And if you decide at whatever level you don't want to be in the community anymore, you're more than willing to leave. You can 100% do that. I think that where it gets kind of construed is, if you do choose to leave, the responsibilities or what you had going on in the community, of course, that's going to change because you're making a new choice, and that's completely okay. But that's part of the choice you're making, and that's just part of the thing. If you're in a business and you choose to leave the business,
choices have consequences.
Choices have consequences. It's pretty normal, and so I think it's just a normal part of life.
And that's huge to me. Choices have consequences, and that's what it is. So this.
Why not choices have results?
Yeah, choices have results.
Have to face a consequence.
And that's like they leave the group, I don't talk to them anymore. Not big, but it's peaceful, it's wonderful. And it's just a real long way of explaining the fact that if you're not on board 100% with our dogma, then we don't want any part of you. So, no, Chrissy, I'm afraid it is nothing like high school, nothing like college. Because, yes, relationships do shift and change throughout your life, but it isn't like attracts like. To me, it isn't. I mean, I don't want to be around everybody that's like me. Ooh, could you imagine? Because I like the, conversation. So you don't agree with me, let's talk about it. Let's have fun with the conversation. So it's either their way or no way or the highway. And if you're not on board with them, then you are, what's the word, ostracized? You're cut off, you're blocked, you're treated like shit, and then the minute they say anything about it, they're the bad ones, or they're the ones that are talking shit because they don't want to hop on board with your ideology. People aren't supporting it. So, but they really do the long way around explaining, oh, we don't do that to people. It's, like high schools, college, and those aren't cults. How do you know that?
And it's okay that occurs here. I think it's very healthy. It's very basic. It's just been construed to look a particular way because it's a spiritual community.
Yeah, this is a very no drama type community. So when someone leaves, it's like there's compassion, there's love. We send them on their way, and that's it. It's like we're on to the next thing so quickly because we all move very fast when we're, creating our dream lives like we're all doing. There's no time to stop and
hold on,
follow somebody after they left or like something like that. It's like, no, and we're very busy people. Like, we got a lot going on. We're growing a business or like enjoying my life with my twin flame and remodeling our home building our business, moving on with our life, because the whole point of what we do here at Twin Flame Universe is to share love to the world. So instead of having compassion and maybe trying to understand why this person isn't on board with that, no, it's okay, we love you, go on your own way, because I'm over here and I'm building my business for me, because that's what it is. It's all about me. It's just self-centered bullshit right here. Remodeling their $500,000 home, going out and changing their tires on their Mercedes and their Porsches. What do you got to say about that? Oh, he's not going to say much. Fun things. And so, yeah, that's really a huge misconstrued piece of what went down, I feel. The next thing that I want to touch on with everyone here today is any truth or any, thoughts around brainwashing at TFU. Like, is there brainwashing taking place? Like, are we all this brainwashed robots? What is happening here? And what is your perspective on that?
For me personally, my parents weren't exactly sure what was going on. So to bring kind of light to what we do here, my coach suggested that I bring my mom to a coaching call with us just to really see what we do, like what do I really do in counseling. And I've always been very open with my mom, and she's always loved and supported me no matter what I do. So I willingly and openly just let her join a coaching call with me. And she watched Hannah guide me through things that were upsetting me. And she just, she has her own relationship with God. So although she told me, like, although she doesn't exactly believe in the exact same things that I do, as long as I'm happy and she knows I'm following what, makes me happy, she will always support me. So after we kind of had that coaching call together and she saw what, how I move through upsets, she kind of felt a little bit more relief and peace, just knowing that I'm in the right hands and I'm not being brainwashed. It's just really just how we move through upsets. It's unique and it's different. But we're really getting to the core of what's like making us upset. We're not putting a bandage over it. So, yeah.
Yeah, really beautiful. That really kind of brings me to the next piece here, which kind of circles back to the first question of are we a cult, right? And this has to do as well with that question. And so what I've learned throughout, my own research into cults and everything like I've shared is that it's not physically possible to have an online cult. It's not physically possible to brainwash someone online because to have a cult or, brainwash someone, there has to be an element of fear involved. And yeah, I feel like this is a really good piece to touch on. And Chrissy may have some more to share on this about, how fear plays a role in cults.
I'm going to disagree 100% with that. Absolutely, you can be brainwashed online. Everything is online anymore. And fear is a part of it, but it's not all fear-based. It's really putting your propaganda out there over and over and over and over and over again. And theirs is you're not going to find your love for your eternal, your harmonious twin flame unless you spend thousands of dollars. And I don't even know if they really are a fear-based thing. But again, I don't call them a cult. But what I am doing is disagreeing with that, because I've seen it over and over and over again online with people that bow down and worship certain YouTubers, certain propaganda they put out over and over. And that to me is, I think church is a cult. Absolutely think churches. And what is that? That's all online anymore. They go in and do it. So what do you think? I mean, if you want me to look at them as a cult, I will, on the level of the fact of their Church of Union, where they do their stupid ass Church of Union video on YouTube. Every good thing they don't have hardly any views on it. But so no, I mean, I don't know what you're looking at, girl, for your statistics, but we live in a world right now where everything is online, and absolutely people are influenced by online shit, and they are hooked in it. I mean, they are going to go for it and get brainwashed big time by a lot of stuff online. Don't you agree with that?
And what, is TFU a place that is perpetrating fear on people?
Yeah, absolutely not. I think that, like you noted, there is research out there that communicates the efficacy of online cults, because there is a fear associated with a cult that you're being threatened or that you're being physically held in some way. And that simply is impossible online, because you can unplug, you can unclick, you can unfollow, you can close the laptop very quickly and move on with your life, and you'll go live a free life of whatever you'd like to do.
That's bullshit. I mean, it is such bullshit. Stop.
A free life.
It's such bullshit. It isn't that simple. Not when you get hooked in with something like that and somebody has your private, personal information. The damage that these people could do to somebody if they're not on board, or if they're saying, ooh, this is part of where I live. But no, they're totally masking that. 100%, don't you think? Masking the fact that they don't damage people online. They absolutely do. And I didn't want to say absolutely 300 times, but they do damage people online. And you can't just shut your laptop and walk away from it. Not when you're that invested. And then you have somebody just talking you down so bad. So sorry. And we don't all know, but my husband and I know, because we had our own little experience with something like that, didn't we? I mean, it was an online thing. And I got out of it, but I mean, it still was, this person tried to come at me anyway. So more damage gets done. I think the minute you walk away, maybe a lot of these people stay in because they don't want to deal with the wrath of the second comer, Jesus Christ Jeffrey.
So I don't necessarily think it's possible. Like, research is out there that proves that it's not possible. I think that if you're living in a state of fear because you're choosing to be in fear, everything's going to scare you. And I used to be like that. I used to live in a place of fear on a regular basis every single day. And this work is what supported me in moving out of that space. I used to be scared to go to a salad bar. I used to be scared to interact with somebody. I used to be scared to be in conflict with somebody. I used to feel fear all the time. And because of this work and because of moving through a lot of trauma and healing, I don't feel that way anymore. I feel completely different. I feel completely at peace. And that's something that I'll always communicate, is that this work only ever brings you into deeper peace in your life. And if you're in fear and it's something that you're just not willing to move through at this time, that's okay. It's okay to be moving through that. It's okay to not feel like this is a good fit for you anymore at any given time, and choose to move on and do something else.
The salad bar, really? She was in fear of a salad bar. She totally contradicts herself here. You'll hear that, where she's talking about in fear of all this stuff. And then now that she's in this community, she's at peace. And they use that word a lot, peace. We're at peace within ourselves. We've created peace. But I will share that Actually, she must live in some kind of fear. And I'll tell you why, is because when I started doing all these videos and I did a piece on Chrissy and Jason, they blocked me. So I'm blocked from her Facebook stuff and all that. So there is fear still there. There's fear that I'm going to find something that's not going to make them look good. So instead of me finding that, they're just going to block me. So that's fear. So what they're doing here is just telling you a bunch of shit that they want you to hear, to think that it's just this wonderful fucking community.
But I think one thing is like when it comes down to brainwashing and this cult narrative, you know, I'm somebody who's been a critical thinker my whole life. I think that my parents would tell you that I could never be controlled, even as a child. Like, so to feel like I could be controlled as an adult is just a little silly to me.
But there we go with the contradiction, right? So she's in fear of everything, but now she's a control freak and she can never be controlled. So what is it, Chrissy? I mean, are you in fear or are you in control of your life?
I think that like I've always kind of beaten to my own drum, so to speak, and done my own thing and have really critically reviewed and analyzed the things that I do on a regular basis. I still do that. I mean, you guys all know me. I'm very logical and very grounded and very like, you know, I really reflect on the decisions I make in my life. And I think that when you're in an organization and part of a community that people are a bit skeptical about, that's okay. It's okay to be skeptical. It's okay to ask your questions. But I invite everyone to be open-minded about it. And come try it on. Come check it out. There's hundreds and hundreds of testimonials from friends and family on twinflamesuniverse.com that can be reviewed. A lot of our stories are on there as well. And I think also, you know, like you have a handful of people saying one thing and then you have thousands of people. I mean, there's almost 60,000 people in the open forum at this point. Like, that's happening for a reason. That growth is happening for a reason.
Let's talk about the open forum. And first of all, she's got to get her sales pitch in there, right? So I really think Chrissy has no clue who she is in life. But anyway, so the open forum, they do have quite a few people in the open forum, but mind you, it's an open forum. So a lot of people can get on, and I know a lot of people are just kind of nosing around in it. That doesn't mean they are a part of the group. They're just being nosy and checking it out. And again, I'm blocked from that too. As a matter of fact, I'm blocked from pretty much everything with the Twin Flame universe. So I don't know. I think that they might be in fear of me.
And so there's something real in this organization. That love is there. And I think that's what we want to share, you know, today as we talk about that. That's what I see as we all talk today, is the love and peace that's there for everyone. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I had something to share about that too. I had a pretty cool experience. Like, one of my family members had texted me and she was like, you know, what are you doing? Like, you seem so happy, you seem so peaceful. And this was like a few months before the docudrama had come out. So I was like, oh, I work with, or I invest into coaching with Twin Flames Universe, and I do the mind alignment process. So I shared that with her. And yeah, so she checked it out. And then when the docudrama did drop, she immediately texted me. She was like, oh, what's going on with this? And the first thing I asked her, I was like, does it look like I'm in a call? Do I like you interact with me like every week, right? We see each other in person. So it's like, does it seem like I'm in a call? Does it seem like I'm brainwashed? And immediately her answer was no. So she was able to like let that doubt go immediately, just because she knows me as a person, and she was able to see like, oh, this is not, you know, like I'm not a brainwashed cult person. I'm just a regular girl that's just like, you know, living my life and desiring self-development. So yeah.
That's funny that you shared that, because when when the docus came out, I had a similar conversation with my mom, and you know, she was, you know, concerned, and her right to be concerned, because yeah, they're scary looking, but it wasn't.
Did she just say Jeff and Shalia are scary looking? That's funny.
The scariness of it was all a facade, right? It was all this illusion perpetrated on us, and so I really got clear with her, and was like, I said to her, I was like, do you think I'm in a cult? And she just like, she couldn't say yes. She was like, no, like I don't. Like, her heart knew the truth, because she's only seen my life get better. Like, you know, buying a home with my twin flame, coming to uni with my twin flame, living like my best life. Like, that's literally what I've been doing. She couldn't deny it, and so I felt really good to set those fears at ease with her, and thank you for sharing that as well. Yeah, so the next piece really here is, which they focus on a lot in the docudramas, was that it costs money to invest in Twin Flame Ascension School. It costs money to have a Twin Flame Ascension coach, or Life Purpose class, etc. And yeah, let's chat about that, because I mean, you know, just kind of to preface this, you know, no one talks about it when Tony Robbins charges thousands of dollars for a motivational speaking event or any of that stuff. And I'm sure there's so many countless others, right? Eckhart Tolle and all these leaders that are speaking and having these events.
I'm going to break it right there just for the fact that she brings in Tony Robbins, who is like way gone and done and nobody gives a fuck about him anymore. But Eckhart Tolle, come on, man. Don't even compare yourself to Eckhart Tolle. But those are the only two people she can come up with. Do you know how many are? Wayne Dyer? I mean, there's so many. Oprah Winfrey, for sure, she's one of them. And they're actually going to try to put themselves in that class. Now, the thing with these people and Chopra and all that and Stewart, I mean, how many? I mean, you and I have read every one of them. Krishnamurti. All of these people wrote books, really good books, and they had speaking events, and then they charged for that. But I don't think they ever held back on saying that they were not commercial, that was a commercial thing for them. They were giving, you buy the book, and you learn from that. They took it to a whole new level with doing the online stuff with the schools. So now they're justifying the cost. You know, they're certainly not worth what they're charging at all. And the reason I'm going to stand with that is because they have no credentials. They have no real experience to actually, and the truth is none of it really comes from experience. It comes from everything they took off of a Tony Robbins or an Eckhart Tolle or a Chopra or a Wayne Dyer, or Deepak Chopra. I mean, I can go on, great ones. They just took all that and claim it to be theirs and their teachings. And then they charge an outrageous amount of money for that. But this is how they justify it. So nobody complains about that, about Tony Robbins. Well, no, because they're paying a ticket price to go sit in the auditorium and watch them. You either pay for it or you don't.
They don't talk about them charging for the coaches or for the events, but it's only kind of around Twin Flames universe that we can't, you know, profit off of supporting others. You know, like that's what we do, right? We support others, and that's.
I just want to ask, though, really, why can't we profit off of supporting others? That is right away to me. It's kind of like, okay, you're not certified. You're not a certified therapist. You're not licensed. And you're profiting off of something you have no experience to do, right? And they're saying they can't do that. Well, they can do whatever they want. If people want to pay for it, then they pay for it. But they're not getting somebody that really, really has years of experience in the field of any kind of thing, you know, with certain things. They're taking it and, you know, making it, they're just giving themselves these titles. And yeah, I go with my massage therapy. When I did massage therapy, I didn't go to school. I didn't get taught. I was self-taught, but I didn't charge anybody. I literally said, if you want to throw me $1 or $2 for my time, that's great. If not, I get it. Where they justify it like they are worth this. They are of value. They honestly deserve this money for what they do for others. But what are they doing for others? And that's always been my biggest question too. I don't think they're doing anything for anybody but themselves, because it goes back to that. It's a self-discovery thing. Twin Flame Universe, you go into it because you want self-discovery and you also want to find your twin flame.
Our job, like that's literally my day job, like my life's job, is to, coach and support others. And so
that's her job. And that's scary to me. It really is. Like this girl really, I could not honestly imagine sitting with her and having a coaching with her and talking to her about something really serious. She would just like feel your feelings, feel your feelings, feel it out. That would be it. That would be my coaching that I just paid $150 an hour for. They're not qualified for this. That's why nobody should be paying for it.
This narrative really doesn't make sense in my mind, but that was really pushed in these videos. And so I would love to hear everyone's perspective on that. And yeah, what are your thoughts on having paid for Twin Flame Ascension School, having paid for Life Purpose class, and what you have to say about them kind of making that into some part of this scheme we're running?
I kind of feel like it's very similar to as if you invest in getting a personal trainer or a dietitian to help you with your diet. It's kind of very similar, but in what works for us, like spiritually, like what works for us, like ascension coaching, helping us work through the mirror exercise and upsets and stuff like that. That's just our personal preference of moving through things, you know, and that's okay. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I can add, like, the way I see it is, like, I like to exercise, and you could choose to, just exercise for free at your house, or like go for walks or runs if that's what you want to do and not have to pay any money for that. And you can choose to pay money if you want a gym membership where you get a little bit more features, like you have some cardio and some weight equipment. If it's raining or snowing, you have an indoor space to go to. You can pay for a more expensive gym where you might have a pool or pickleball courts or something else. You can also choose, like Destiny was saying, to pay for a personal trainer if you feel like you need that assistance to, for your exercise goals, or you want to maybe reach your goals faster, or you need more help in how to do that. You can, pay for a personal trainer once a month or once a week or every workout. And that's how I see it with ascension coaching is if you want to, you don't actually have to pay for anything in Twin Flames universe. There's so much free content online, and like all the coaches release like free, videos like all the time. So there's a lot of free product. But depending on, for me, when I began on this journey, I needed a lot of assistance and a lot of help. So I needed help. I didn't know like how to do this. I didn't even know how to feel my feelings. So for me, coaching made a lot of sense. But there's no pressure. There was never any pressure from anybody to purchase anything or to purchase coaching or to do it even on a certain timeline.
And that's such bullshit too in their forum. And I have so many screenshots. I'm not going to put them all up, but people will ask a question. They say they have all this free stuff, right? The minute somebody asks a question about something, they push them right into to get on board, to pay. So they don't even give them any answers or do anything. Not like they have any answers to give. But it's really like to compare this to working out at a gym and all that. It's like, no, it's not even comparable. It's just the stuff that they come up with in this is just lame duck. And again, this really, of course, hits a fucking nerve with me, is their divine dish. So you have the Twin Flame universe, and they're not mentioning this stuff, but they plug away at that stuff too. You want to, get fit and do all that. They're going to push divine dish, which is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Or Jason in the video here, he's your fitness trainer online. They do not have credentials, they do not have experience, and they want your money for bullshit. It's just, ugh.
It's like completely up to you, to the person they need.
Okay. Yeah. It was very logical and grounded the way you explained that there. And when you say they don't have to purchase anything, you mean like Twin Flame Ascension School or like Purpose class or, coaching itself. Like there's nothing that's forced on anybody, right? No one has to purchase anything to be involved or to do this work. Mirror exercise is free online, right?
Well, and the mirror exercises, that's like the only tool that they have, and that is free online. But I would advise, don't even bother. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of, and not to mention it's been around forever. Go look in the mirror, have a little talk with yourself, and just blame yourself for everything. That's really all that is. Right? Right? But everything isn't free. But what she is saying here is that it is your choice, and it is your choice. I'm hoping that in this, you're going to go, yes, it is my choice, and my choice is to walk away.
Your Twin Flame universe has thousands of videos online, and like you were saying, thousands of free videos that coaches have made too. Does anyone else have anything else to share about maybe the investment, what it was like making the investment into TFAS or LPC, and was it worth it? I guess.
Yeah, I feel like it just really helped me take accountability and responsibility over my own feelings, and that I had the power to move through it, basically.
Yeah, and I actually enjoyed, I had like this feeling of joy every product that I would purchase. It would be like, okay, next level, next level of my ascension and my support. And I always received it, times 100 what I expected, times 1,000, 1,000,000. It was always so profound what I was receiving in each e-course, in each course. So yeah, more than worth it for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would also say like no one forced me to like buy the classes. I did it on my own free will because I desired like my twin flame union. And like, Twin Flame Ascension School for me has been like the best investment I've ever made in my life. Like it completely transformed everything for me. So like I don't regret spending, it's just like it's not a foreign concept to pay coaches for their services. There's thousands, hundreds of coaches online that are spiritual coaches, that are life coaches that charge for their services.
And I bet that they're way more qualified than you. Right away, red flag, the word investment. You hear investment, run like hell. Your spiritual journey should not be a fucking investment, financial investment. You should not be paying on it for the rest of your life.
It's a regular thing. This happened before Twin Flames Universe. Twin Flames Universe didn't create charging for coaching. So I think it's like silly, that idea. But yeah, Twin Flame Ascension School Life Purpose class is definitely like the best investment I've ever made in my life. It changed everything for me. So
I remember right before I joined or invested into Twin Flame Ascension School and got involved in live classes was I had just completed a degree and I was still like seeking something. I still felt like there was this component I hadn't gotten yet, and the only thing I knew what to do is go back to school. So after having finished getting a doctorate, I'm like, well, I guess I have to just go back and learn more. There's something I just haven't gotten yet that I'm desiring. And I took one psych class, and I was like, no, this isn't it. And so I found Twin Flames Universe shortly after, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I'm looking for. I am looking for spiritual education. I'm looking for support on my spiritual journey. I'm looking for a component that's going to help me love myself more and address my emotional needs and address the spiritual life and what that means and what that is and break it apart for me in a way that I can understand it. And Twin Flame Ascension School and Life Purpose does that perfectly. And I agree, Manuela, it was one of the best, if not the best, like investment I've ever done. So like I think there's very generous payment plans available for people. Like it's just whatever you need that fits your journey, and you'll find that perfect fit for you in the courses and in the free material.
Generous. They're generous because they're so generous. They're such generous people that they're going to give you a payment plan for the next 20 fucking years. All to figure out who your twin flame is that doesn't even exist. Can I hear from the peanut gallery? No? No voice. He's so quiet back there.
The price they use it is such a shocker in the docudramas. Feeling into that price, I feel, oh my God, like Ryan was saying, I got so above and beyond what I could have ever asked for, right? It did not, debilitate me at all to do that. It only strengthened, my financial freedom, right? Like I'm financially free now and working on becoming financially free more and more every day.
Of course you're financially free. Of course you're financially free. Everybody in this group right here is probably making okay money, pretty good money, because these are the minions for Jeff, right? He's back there, puppet master, making sure they say what they're supposed to say to pump it up and to push them and get more people on board, because the thing is that they're hurting bad. I know. I mean, it's going to be a matter of time and they're done. But that's it, right? I mean, let's talk about that. Not long, but it isn't really about their spiritual journey. It's about their financial journey. It's about the money. And isn't that what we do? I mean, we want to survive. We want to make money. We want to live. Why don't they just say that?
So, yeah, that's just the last piece I have there. And, yeah, off of that, too, the next thing really is about the free labor allegations at TFU, right? Like, do we all just slave away all day for free and, get nothing out of it and, work for Jeff and Shalia? That's really what I feel the next piece is here that we can all speak to in some way, but I'd like to open the floor to see who would like to share a piece on that.
I've been a volunteer my entire life. So when I was a kid, I think the first time I volunteered was at church. I was an altar girl. After that, I volunteered in all kinds of different things. I was a volunteer for Relay for Life. I developed the very first team from my school that ended up eventually having Relay for Life at that school, right? Like I volunteered at hospice. I volunteered by going into the military. Like I volunteered in the military as a Little League coach. I volunteered to be a manager of a building. Volunteering is volunteering, and it's something that you do for selfless service that you feel good about, that supports you. I absolutely love volunteering in this organization because of what I receive in return for it. It's such an amazing opportunity to build relationships with people and feel that minded energy when you're doing something together that you both desire and a common goal to move something forward. It's an incredibly beautiful thing. And I really, even if I was offered money, I wouldn't take it because I love volunteering.
If I was offered money, I wouldn't take it. She's so full of shit. This woman here, she's living in a $500,000 home. She's got her Porsche. If you look at, I think it's a Porsche, yeah. She's so full of shit. She just nauseates the fuck out of me. So she just volunteered her whole life. That's all she did. I'm just little Miss Volunteer. Not everybody else has got the luxury in life to volunteer because they have to actually make a living to support themselves, to pay rent, to maybe put food on the table for their kids, to survive. None of these people have kids except for Jeff and Shikuhu, and they have their little princess. That's it. None of these people. You know what? I think Jason might have a kid. I don't know. I know he's got like a huge drunk driving record. I wonder how they deal with that. But this I'm the Girl Scout bullshit with her. It's like her way of pushing that. That's what you do. This is what you do. No, this is a business. People want to spend the money to make the money. They don't want to fucking volunteer. Get over it.
Right? And so I think that volunteering is a really healthy thing to do because it's something that you give back and it feels really good. And I understand if people don't like volunteering, and I understand if it's not for them. No one's forced to volunteer for the Church of Union. Everyone's offered the opportunity to volunteer for the church when and where they see fit.
I don't think that's true either. I think it's bullshit. Of course they have to volunteer. Right away it says that you have to pay a tithe to the church once you get in because it's the Church of Unionism. And you watch my maps, you look at my maps, go back and look at my other videos. You'll see how it all works. Yes, they do. There are certain things that they have to do, and that is volunteering. And it even states that when you go into the program, and I'm not going to pull all this stuff up, but trust me, it's there, that yes, they do have to volunteer once they get into this program. And with her saying they don't have to is just no. And you give back, it makes you feel good. How does volunteering for a multimillionaire make you feel good? Somebody please explain that to me. How does that make you feel good? Because I do believe there's a girl that's been on the group, this exposed group, that said something about she was cleaning their damn mansion for them for free, for nothing. And Jeff treated her like shit. And she ended up getting out of the thing. So he's got all his little people slaving, and they are slaving for him. Think about that. I mean, seriously.
We just ask that if you take on a responsibility, that you follow through with that responsibility. That's all it's ever asked, and I've only ever experienced that in any volunteer role I've ever had. Right? So it's no different than anywhere else.
Yeah, I agree with what Chrissy was saying. Like, volunteering has been amazing for me. Like, it's personally brought me a lot of purpose into my life to be able to volunteer with like-minded individuals, and we're all kind of focused on the same goal of self-love and becoming the best version of ourselves. So it feels really nice to have that community of people where we are committed to sharing that message with the world. So that has brought a lot of joy and purpose into my life, and it's not something that I've ever been convinced into or forced into. I decided to volunteer. I was like, oh, I want to volunteer too. That sounds fun, It's just something that it just it was my heart's desire to do that, and I did, and it's brought a lot of wonderful things into my life. Mostly a feeling of purpose, which a lot of people feel like they don't have in their life. So that, that really brought that into my life.
Cool. So what do you do for the Church of Union as a volunteer?
I learned a lot about content creation, so that has been very valuable for my life, just learning how to content create and stuff, and it's helped me out in my own career as a content creator and artist. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about her big volunteer work. So she's not volunteering. Okay, first of all, period. She does content creation. So what she's doing is she's doing marketing for Jeff's pyramid scam, and she volunteers her time to make him money on his profitable businesses. That's what she's doing. And that makes her feel so good to do such things.
Yeah, it's funny, off of that many. I literally, not gonna lie, I reached out to Shalia asking if I could work for them. Once I started watching the free classes, because I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be involved so bad. This is everything I've been looking for. So yeah, it's a calling in your heart to volunteer, it really is. And so yeah, if you feel called, you can answer the call. If not, that's cool too.
So next question we have is on the stalking allegation, and how does TFU encourage stalking? Is stalking something that TFU, encourages at the core? So let's see if we can answer that. And I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about people who say that TFU teaches to go after your twin flame at all costs, right? Is that true, or what is really going on here?
That's definitely not the case. You're obviously being told that, boundaries are essential, and, to feel your feelings if anything comes up where you feel like you need to do something like that, because that's obviously not part of the teachings. That's insane. And there's nobody promoting that here. So yeah, boundaries are important, and making choices that are loving is what's guided there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can add something that what I have learned in this community is you could be in a room all by yourself doing your own healing work, and that will attract your twin flame. I've never heard anyone be encouraged to stalk someone or go bang on their door or anything like that. In fact, that's most likely not going to work in a twin flame relationship. So I've never heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember hearing time and time again, that's not what you do. That will never work, right? That's not gonna help. It's only gonna make things worse, right? Because at the end of the day, doing that is seeking outside of yourself to feel better, and thinking your twin flame is gonna make you feel better when really only you can. It's really a not healthy behavior at all. That I've never seen encouraged here.
Yeah, I'll add to that. I noticed in the Facebook open forum group, there's 60,000 people in it. So if you were someone not familiar with his community and you just went on and looked, there are some people that will come in that aren't part of the teachings, they haven't studied the teachings, and they may think that that's a thing because they've heard it in the docudramas. And so if you were making an impression or an opinion on what the community is, you may be misled there, thinking that that's what the rest of the community feels about it, but that's actually not what's taught.
I was on my twin flame journey. I knew about twin flames 2 years before I even found Twin Flames Universe, and that was actually an unhealthy. I would say the twin flame journey without Twin Flames Universe is a pretty it can be pretty unhealthy. Just what everyone says about twin flames and stuff, all the nonsense. So I would say that is what is really unhealthy.
Okay, so she's saying basically that if you're on the twin flame journey, because she already knew about twin flames before Twin Flame Universe, so it's unhealthy if you're on the twin flame journey without the help of the Twin Flame Universe to be on that journey. So you can only do that with it, otherwise it's going to be unhealthy. Now they're doing the stalking thing. The thing is the documentaries, of course, actual people talked about the stalking and the harassment. And that's validated by people that actually experienced it and went through it. So it's just, again, people doing a little research to understand And then also boundaries within yourself by saying, no, I'm not going to do that.
And when I found Twin Flames Universe, I was actually led to learn how to have like a healthy twin flame journey versus it being kind of like, you know, not healthy. Yeah, I feel where that can get misconstrued, and especially throughout TFAS is, you know, the encouragement to not give up on your twin flame journey. Like, you don't give up, right? You don't follow through on it. And I know like that is a big piece of what was like twisted, is this energy of like, never give up on it. But it's not about never get up and go after it and knock on its door and hunt it down. It's no, like, go within yourself, love yourself, and never give up on loving yourself, because it's always going to lead you to your union.
Never giving up on your twin flame, because this is it. You have one and that's it. So never giving up on it means that you're going to stalk that person. Pretty much.
And to love at the end of the day. It's not like this control energy. So everyone's kind of shared their piece on how TFUs changed their lives and affected them. And, you know, it has me kind of curious. So if TFU, Twin Flames Universe, helps people build better relationships with themselves, their twin flames, basically everyone in their lives, like everyone here is saying, why do you feel that people would reject this teaching or reject this community?
Maybe they're just not ready to, you know, face their lives in that way, or they don't feel called to, is a better way to put that. Like, and that's okay.
Why are people rejecting the twin flame, or why have they had such negative response? Because they're not ready. I mean, that's such a classic thing to say, right? It's like, you know, come to Jesus moment. It's like, well, I'm not ready to ask Jesus to be my personal savior, ever. It's not that I'm not ready. I'll never be ready, because I'm not going to do it. So there's just people that don't believe in your bullshit. That's why. Just people don't believe in it, and they're just kind of calling out the bullshit. You guys are way behind, man. This shit is come and gone, is done. Get on with the times.
But yeah, to, you know, go against the community in like a negative way doesn't make sense. But I could see why somebody didn't want to or wasn't ready to, because it's like you're choosing something so profound for yourself that you can't really like go backwards. You know what I mean? You're just gonna you're taking that step for the rest of your life to kind of commit to something that is eternal. And so, yeah, it's a really big choice. It's a big commitment. And
I feel for this guy here, I do, in a way, because he really, I mean, they're all hook, line in it, right? They all believe it so wholeheartedly. But once you make this step, it's like such a big commitment to make it. You can never go backwards. The thing is they're looking at it as going backwards. It's not going backwards. It's people that get into this and then understand, okay, this is not something I want to be involved. And they push it further, and they open their minds to other things and not get stuck in one thing. And these people are all just really stuck right now in one thing. So they're not ascending into anything. This is it for them right here, right now, defending Jeff's empire. And the sad thing for this is it's going to collapse, and these guys are just going to have nothing. What are they going to do with their lives, right?
it takes a lot of willpower to make that choice. So maybe somebody just wouldn't be ready to make that choice, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think there's people that want to change. There are also people that don't want to change, nor do they have to. It really comes down to the individual's choice on what they want to do and where they want to take their life, what they want to create in their life, the places they want to go. Somebody could be perfectly happy with what they have, and that's fine. This is a community, it's a movement for those that noticed problems in their lives and are looking for a solution. And I think it will always be that.
We practice self-love and we practice, self-empowerment. And
I love it, Jason. It speaks finally, and the way Chrissy looks at him, you're not seeing it, Mike can't see it from here, but the way she looks at him just really is like, oh God, he's speaking. Oh, don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass me. People can change, people can't change, people will change, people won't change, they don't have to change, but they might change, but they need to change because if they want to be in this group, they need to change genders.
I mean, a lot of people, they like that too. So I think it's just kind of like a misunderstanding in addition to what, Jason and Ryan shared here as well, like that piece of it. Yeah. We're pretty normal people and living pretty normal lives. Just, doing our thing. So, yeah.
I think there might have been a belief that you do it to a point and you're done, or you do it until this is like a choice to continue to improve yourself, like a continuous choice of improvement, a continuous choice of healing, and continuing to choosing to grow and expand. And if you stop doing the mirror exercise and your upsets pile up, then that has to come out in some way.
And God, can we just fucking stop with this mirror exercise shit? And this is it for them. If you stop doing the mirror exercise, your upsets are gonna pile up. Well, I can't even fucking imagine how many upsets I have because I ain't done the mirror exercise once. It's just, it's like their answer for fucking everything is the mirror exercise.
I think that doing the mirror exercise or pretending you're doing the mirror exercise when you're not actually doing it could be pretty detrimental. Like, you know what I mean? And in an environment of people who are constantly healing. So it's just like attracts like. If your core value isn't healing and you don't choose to align into that, then you naturally wouldn't be around people who are doing that.
I feel like everybody's touched it, but I'll just say that I think healing in the way that we do can be extremely vulnerable because you have to look at those places within yourself where it may be difficult to go sometimes. It may be difficult to really, explore different areas of your consciousness or feelings of depression that maybe you've felt in your life. And you really have to be willing to go there and willing to go there consistently to do this work. And your life does get better and better and better. You reap the benefits of being willing to love yourself on such a vulnerable level. But if you're not ready to go there, that's okay. If you're not ready to look at that, that's okay. That's, it's where your comfort level is to follow this path or not. And yeah.
And I feel that kind of just leads into, the overlying energy of those who have, rejected what we do here. I think I can speak for everyone, and I'll open up the floor too, but it's just compassion, right? It's unconditional, complete compassion to, what anyone felt like they experienced, because it's been so far different than my own and what everyone shared here today. And from my belief, I do believe we create our own realities, and I can't have anything but compassion for someone that creates a reality that seemed as disturbing and it was upsetting as what was shown.
And that would be a good one for me to bring up too, is we create our own realities, which is something that I absolutely would make choices. We create this reality. But how can you believe in God and then also think that you create your own reality? Because that's the complete opposite of people that believe in God. They think God is the one that's creating our reality. He's the one that dictates and tells us what to do and how to do it. And we just have to listen to God's word and do it. So we're not creating it, God's creating it. But then I guess if we're Christ consciousness, then we pretty much are God at that point. And so we're listening to ourselves, which means that we're God, and that inner voice and now is God. And that would mean that I am now creating my own reality. Make sense?
Well, yeah, I was just thinking about the free will part of things, though.
Yeah.
If you have free will, God's creating all this stuff for you and you don't want to do it, you just go your own way.
You don't have free will.
Oh, I thought you did. He gave us free will.
Oh, we do have free will, but we don't, really. Right?
I agree. Something I saw the other day, when we were talking, was it might have been an experience, but it's not the experience, right? I think everyone has their own experiences, but the core component here is whatever experience you're having, you have the power to heal it. Yeah. You have the power to move through it. You have the power to change your reality based on what you heal.
And that's good. So it's all the trauma. So you have an experience. They're putting it always like a bad experience. You have an experience, you can heal that experience. Why maybe I have nothing to heal. Maybe I feel pretty damn good. I love myself, I'm good. I You know what I mean? It's not like an experience. We have that. But then again, that's contradictory, I think, to being a believer in God, because everybody believes that that's where it comes from. So you're not creating your own reality. You really don't have you have free will, but then if you make the wrong choice, then it was a lesson. I mean, it's all this mind fuck with it, really.
And as long as you're continuing to do that, I think it'll be very peaceful to be in the community, and it'll support you in your choices and your goals in life.
The goal here is for us all to find our truth, right? And so that's why our community is able to expand and grow and become more. And we are as well, because peace is the answer here. Peace is the search here. And it's within. And when you find that peace within, you can move forward. And that's a lifetime of, a lifetime process. And yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Yeah, so how do you guys see TFU evolving in the future? Where do you think we're going moving forward?
I feel like, as you can tell, we're all very motivated and driven with purpose to share love to the entire world. So I would say it's a global community. So just continuing to share the teachings with everyone. And yeah, as you can tell, we have a very fire in our heart to share love with everyone. That's our dream. We all believe in true love. We believe that true love is for everyone. And that's just where I see it going. True love for everyone.
Oh, it's such a fairy tale, such a fantasy. Just so true love for everybody, the whole world. Well, then stop hoarding it. Stop keeping it to yourself, to you and your twin flame, because they do nothing for anybody. I mean, really, what do they do for the world? What are they doing to make this world better? Please share. I mean, what are they doing to make this world a better place? I'd love to know. Because as far as I can see here, they certainly ain't making my world a better place.
From my experience, with Twin Flames Universe and its growth, it has grown rapidly over the years, very quickly. And I think with that quick growth, sometimes there are differing of opinions along the way that happen, which I think is pretty natural in a company's growth. I just see continued expansion and growth as we move forward. There is an incredible student body that's very dedicated and passionate about growing unionism and supporting others in the teachings of union, and really helping people on the twin flame journey who are interested in their twin flame and desiring that, to find a place that can support them in that manifestation. So I think we have, all I see is continued growth. Really, I do. I think that this cancel culture experience that we've had has only brought us stronger together, has only supported us in growth and expansion, and I believe it will continue to do so until we are completely through it. And it's just a process of healing, addressing what comes up for us, and then moving forward and sharing our peace. And I think we'll do that for a long time.
Anyone in this room is looking for something different, they're in a particular pattern in their life, maybe several patterns that they don't really like, and they want something different, they want something better. And when people go searching for what will help them, I think that they find what they're looking for, and the world will find what it's looking for if this is what they're looking for, right? It's there for them, and there's plenty of coaches to support people, and in that regard, the growth will just be a very natural, organic thing.
Really nice. I think we all have a really solid vision for the future and moving towards it. It's only going to get better and better, and we just all experienced such beautiful energy at this Spiritual Life Summit this past June, which was just a taste, I feel, of what's to come for everyone, and what we're creating here. And for those who weren't there, it was truly an experience of heaven on earth, and it was so wonderful. And like in every single way, felt like we're all home, right? In this energy of, like union with God and union with love. And so, and yeah, that really brings me to the question of like, for those watching right now, what do we have to say to them who may be skeptical or curious about the teachings, or like I said, still skeptical about TFU from what they may have seen in the media? And yeah, of course, we could say there's cancel culture and all of that, but what do we have to say to them? What do we truly, from our hearts, have to say?
Well, just, try this work out for yourself. Release the expectation of it being incredible or the expectation of it being bad. Just face it with logic and, a clear mind.
Well, that's the problem with it. You can't face this with logic or critical thinking because it's all just made up fairy tale shit. I mean, this is just a belief system. That's it. There's people that believe the world is flat. There's people that believe there's UFOs. There's people that believe that, who was it, Bush? Was it Bush, an alien? Bush was an alien. It's just this belief thing. They get caught up in this stuff and then they move away from it at some point and they laugh and go, okay, I can't even believe I got caught up in that. And that's really what I hope happens to these people. That's all it is. It's not truth. It's not fact. It's just their belief. They think they're making the world a better place. I just want to know how they're doing it, because I have not seen anything at all that substantiates them making this world a better place. Not one bit. He's the millionaire. What are you doing with all that money? What are you doing to make this world a better place?
And you'll find that it's very transformative.
We were talking about our stories earlier, and I remember like my transformative moment. One of them along my journey was with MAP, and MAP wasn't a docudrama. There was a whole component of it. I was never asked to be in an interview. It was just quite honestly quite violating for me to move through, and so I really appreciate what we're doing here today so we can share both sides of the story. But I was somebody who, I was going through a really difficult time, and I think there's a lot of people out there going through really difficult times. I had a lot of trauma I was moving through that got triggered at work, and I did go to the hospital, I did go to the therapist, I did call all of the lines available to veterans for that support, and I just wasn't receiving what I needed. And I remember driving home and being really scared and crying, and I was in a foreign country, and I just felt very alone. And, Jeff said, hey, I can help you. And he's like, are you willing to receive my help? And I said, yes, I absolutely, I've called all the people, I've gone to the doctors, and I'm still having a problem here, and I need help. And, we got on a call, and 2.5 hours later, MAP was born. And I have been supporting people and healing their trauma since. No one is being hurt. Everyone is receiving everything they need to come into a place of peace. It's very gentle, it's very easy, it's very quick. Many of you in here have had that experience.
I'm going to rip into this. I need to rip into this. So, Chrissy is with this MAP thing. So Chrissy is CEO of MAP, Mind Alignment Process, and it's just not getting as much attention as it needs. That these people really think they have the credentials to work with people that really go through life trauma. I don't know what her trauma was, but obviously the girl is still, I think, has mental issues. And now she is going to be the CEO of MAP and talk to people and charge people an exuberant amount of money to heal their trauma. But it's simple and it's fast and it's easy and it's peaceful. It isn't that easy. I mean, what kind of trauma are we talking about? That she stubbed her toe? I mean, come on. I mean, trauma. Let's talk about child molestation. Let's talk about domestic violence. Let's talk about real trauma. And they really think that they're going to take care of that? Quick and easy by the mirror exercise? I mean, this MAP needs to be shut the fuck down. They do not have that platform. They should not be doing it at all. And her sitting here on her little throne just really hits a nerve with me, because she had trauma. She was in the military, whatever. She talks to Jeff for an hour on the phone and bam, 2 hours later, they're going to develop MAP. They're going to realign your mind. And what did she go through? I don't know. She's not sharing her actual trauma. But to put somebody in that position, first of all, They're already fucked up. And that's the thing. Fucked up people talking to fucked up people. It's just one big mind thing where none of these people should be in this position at all, and nor should they be charging for any of it. I would think that would be, there's got to be something illegal about that, really, especially when you're dealing with people's psyche. There has to be something illegal about that.
And I will forever be grateful and blessed to live trauma-free and live a life of peace. And I think that if you're somebody who's struggling and you're moving through a lot and you're trying all the different things and you're not finding the help that you need, like, this might be it. Try it on, see if it fits. If it's not a good fit for you, that's 100% okay. Keep trying, keep finding what's gonna help you.
But that's the thing too. I mean, it's like, try it on, make it fit. The thing is, you jump into that session, you pay the $200 an hour for that, you don't get your money back. They don't ever give you shit back in any of it. You get into there was a Better Business Bureau, and literally a review, and they got a really low rating, of course, but is somebody that said that the person didn't show up for the coaching or something, they wanted their money back, and they blew them off, ignored them, blocked them, whatever. They never got a penny back. And in that, I think that there's lawsuits. There could be probably a lot of lawsuits out there, people that have been led falsely on false pretenses with all this bullshit. And this really, I think, more than any of it, really pisses me off with MAP.
And I think that for me, this was it, and I will help anyone that comes to the door and genuinely desires to receive it. And I hope one day that, like, as we were talking about expansion and growth, that we have MAP facilities worldwide to support people in coming in and becoming trauma-free and receiving that peace, because I think everyone deserves a life of peace. And I'm very, very passionate about that personally. And so that's what I would say to those that are listening. If you're interested, like Ryan says, go try it on and see for yourself.
Thank you for sharing. It's a very vulnerable and inspiring story. And, I know some of your story, and I always found that, it is a very inspiration. Every time I hear someone's healed such a core piece of, their consciousness, like core wound, including myself, with MAP. It's just, like you said, opened my eyes to what is possible for everyone, right? And then I do as well encourage everyone to give it a try, see how it fits for you. And Krista, I feel like you also opened up another piece as well when you mentioned that it was a violating experience to have, no chance to speak your piece and all of that. And I feel like I'd love to hear, more about what it felt like to have that happen with the docudramas and not really have the opportunity to, share our truth until now, right? It's been almost a year, but we went through a lot. We had to process a lot, and that wasn't easy for anybody.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was easy for the student body or Jeff and Shalia, frankly, to have been misrepresented in such a dramatic way. We did take a step back. We did take time to heal. We did take time to contemplate and do like a lot of deep inner healing in regards to what was presented. I think that's pretty natural and something that anyone should do when things of this nature come up. I also think it's important to, when available and you do have an open door, to communicate what's going on, to have those conversations, but that open door needs to be there. And I think that it's really important that our media provide that open door so that the entire situation can be shown, not just a piece of it.
Oh, yeah, okay, the whole situation. Let's just end it right here. I'm going to close the door on the Twin Flame universe because I'm so sick and fucking tired of these people. Oh, they're just trauma that they went through for these documentaries. No, of course, they didn't gather their facts. They didn't put together factual information. Now, they just throw up a bunch of lies about them, okay? And then what do? They want media to turn their story. They even had Vanity Fair go out, okay? Just look into them. There's just so much wrong with this group, so much. There's so much that just really aggravates me and hits a nerve with me. And poor Jeff and little Shalulu over there, oh my God, their little feelings were hurt that they just couldn't continue scamming people all the time and getting rich off of them, because that empire is going to burn. I know it. It's going to end. We got other things in this life, right? Your trauma, oh God, I can't deal. I really can't. So, but, all right. Just saying it. That's all I'm doing is just saying it.
There are so many twin flame talkers who will talk you into giving them a whole lot of money.
This is the Porsche. It's a $100,000 Porsche.
For a solution that ends up being nothing but you giving them money.
One of the finest Corvettes that you can possibly buy today.
Being scammed.
There are talkers who will talk you into their particular way. I want to be your guru. But it doesn't actually bring you anything but suffering.
Fuck you.
It may seem really sweet. They maybe have a lot of conviction and confidence. Like, I'm literally telling you I'm Christ.
It may seem innocent, for example, but like the ripple effects on a person's life that you're influencing can be deep and traumatic.
And I want to make sure that all of you doing your fucking jobs.
There are a lot of false spiritual teachers out there that basically rehash spiritual terms and words into their own mishmash of vocabulary, and they get like a cult following, and it's really crazy.